Before we could choose from broadcast, cable, or satellite channels, now add that to the mix, digital sub-channels. One of those channels is Bounce TV, and earlier, Joseph had a chance to sit down and chat with Bounce VP of Original Programming, Karlo Handy. Must have been a good name.
Bounce TV. It is the first ever and fastest growing broadcast television network designed for the black audience. Please welcome Karlo Handy, Vice President of Original Programming for Bounce TV. Welcome, Karlo.
Thank you, thank you.
Bounce TV, broadcast television. My first question is, with satellite, Hulu, and cable, why a broadcast network?
That's the perfect question to start with, actually, because over-the-air television is really benefiting from all these new platforms. You know, you have your Netflix, your Hulu, HBO now you can get directly without having a cable provider.
Right.
And the byproduct that is people are cutting the cord more often now. And so what you're We're almost 4 years in, and we're the #2 African American network. We're #2 in reach, and African Americans are all African American networks. We're in 88 million homes versus TV1's in like 55 million, and we've been dominating in the ratings recently. So we've been competing very well.
Well, to what do you attribute the growth? Is that because people are going back to the broadcast with the advent of Hulu and Netflix and the online platforms?
It's a combination of things, because that is growing that audience, but there always was a broadcast only audience. You know, there's only 50 million Americans that are watching TV over the air because they don't have cable or they live in a rural area. And you know, a lot of people assume that everyone has the same thing they have at their home, but not everyone has the same channels available. So over the air has always been available and thriving, but there was never anything for African Americans on it.
That was just over the air.
Yeah, that was just over there. So once we came on the scene, there was already an audience there, like waiting for something like this, and no one ever taken advantage of.
Well, I'm curious because I've had a dozen conversations with people, everyone from J.C. Watts down to even here, Larry Elder, here locally here, who want to do or have been trying to do a network geared towards that audience. They didn't have success. You did have success.
Well, I mean, I definitely can't take all the credit for that. I run the original programming, but I came into this position with a great team of people already in place. You know, our president, Ryan Glover, Martin Luther King the third is on our board. Andrew Young is on our board. We also have a lot of station group owners, and Al Heyman, for instance, is one of our board members. So we had a good team of folks that came together to make this happen.
And we're able to raise the funds.
And they were able to raise the funds and also get the distribution. You know, we have a great team of folks that have been working in syndication for years.
If you can't get into somebody's home, it doesn't matter if you
right, exactly.
How
So
much
before I come on the scene and do my job, you know, they already had done a great job getting all the distribution out there. You know.
Well, let's talk about what you are the Vice President of Original Programming. Let's talk about some of the programming that's on Bounce TV.
Yeah. So you know, right now the big news is we just announced our upfronts for 2015-16.
So that means you have the upfronts is where you're selling to the advertisers.
Exactly, and we announced all our new programming coming out. So recently we just premiered Man and Wife. With David and Tamela Mann. It's a sitcom.
So this is original programming.
Oh yeah.
So Bounce TV isn't just, because I think sometimes people might think it's just, well, we're showing reruns of like The Cosby Show.
Right.
but but it's not. You have original programming?
Yeah. I mean, just to give you a brief of what you would see on the network if you were to tune in right now today. And by the way, before I go any further, here locally it's channel 34.3 on your broadcast in the Los Angeles area.
Okay.
But yeah, you would find we do broadcast different world, rock, Parenthood, Hughley's, right? We have all these older sitcoms. We broadcast movies as well, really great movies, all the way from Color Purple to Con Air. But you know, on our prime time, you'll see our original sitcoms. So we have, like I said, David and Tamela Mann from Mr. Brown, and his wife Tamela, who they do a sitcom where it's like a Brady Bunch, where she's a cop, or he's a cop and she's a teacher, and they have this blended family. We also have another sitcom called Family Time with Omar Gooding and Angel Conwell. and they play a husband and wife with a small
I
family.
imagine because it is geared toward the black audience that there's Sunday programming, gospel.
We actually don't do that. We actually play movies all day on Sunday, and our
Really?
movies do very well on Sunday. Yeah, so you get a full day of everything from, like I said, from Cooley High all the way to High Crimes with
Old
more,
classic-
all the way,
classic
all the way up
movies.
till recent stuff that with Morgan Freeman or just really great movies that had done well in the box office that people want to see still.
And you also have comedy specials.
Yes,
I happen to
100%.
have seen, let everybody know, I saw, we met actually at Kim Cole's
Exactly.
taping of her comedy special. So you're launching these comedy specials? You have one coming up?
Yeah, so on May 16th, we're premiering the next one, which is Rudy Rush. Rudy Rush is an awesome stand-up comedian. He's done a few specials before for Comedy Central, and now he's done his first original one for broadcast. And I think the unique thing we're doing with the comedy space is it's broadcast and it's for family entertainment.
I was just going to ask, so this is really geared towards the family.
Yeah, and it's clean comedy.
And it's broadcast television network, and where you can find it here again.
It's
locally.
34.3.
Ricardo, thank you for joining us here on CCN Sunrise. We hope you come back. See us again soon.
All right.
I really love all these digital sub-channels, Joseph, because sometimes I feel like cable bills get really, really expensive.
Yes,
And
yes.
so this is a great alternative, another great programming for people to watch that you don't have to pay for cable.
Absolutely. So,
Up next, we have employers that have quite a bit to think about for next month, don't we, Joseph?
yes, July is just around the corner. There's some new laws that are going into effect that will affect a lot of workers and possibly the bottom line for businesses. Robert Lear explains, and that's coming up next.